So all I want to do here is to give you a little idea of how you can vary the ideas that we looked at for the Munster cloak and how you can layer those ideas in the same piece to create something that's interesting, that changes, and that's kind of your take on this particular tune. So I think that the idea that maybe just takes a bit of explaining is the idea of a fidget, which is my own term. The idea is that you're fidgeting because you don't want to sit on the same note for too long. That's where that comes from. So the idea is if you have two repeated notes, for instance, at the beginning of the tune, you have the D, D, and the E, E. You can put a note in between those repeated notes, and because the melody afterwards is going up, I'm putting a note a step below because I like that shape. That's my personal preference. For those of you that don't have a C sharp on your instrument, you're probably going to want to go to the note above. And at the end of the tune you can use an A instead of a C sharp. So here is an example of the A music with all of the fidgets put in. So you probably are not going to want to put them all in, but try them all and then pick out a few that you like each time. The alternative with repeated notes is that you can tie them together to make longer notes. Which has kind of a bit of a calmer effect. So we've got those going in, we've got maybe some passing notes at the end of each bar. And so on. In the B part, some turns, or even triplets if you want to slow them down. And some pedal notes. So I'm just going to do you now a run through the tune with some of those ideas thrown in, varied, just so that you can get the idea. But when you're trying these out, I'd suggest sticking with one idea at a time, or maybe possibly two. But for most people, if you've got 4 possible ideas that you're exploring, it's really hard to keep those 4 things in your head at the same time. So cut yourself some slack, give yourself a break. Stick with one idea. When you're comfortable with that, maybe add a second idea. And remember that these are things you can come back to time and time again. So here is some Munster cloak, varied. Here we go.